it isn't so. Are we going to be forced to endure a Meghan Markle restaurant and hotel opening? That is the latest report from The Sun regarding Meghan's future with, as ever, her sort of disastrous, meandering brand that really doesn't stand for anything, really doesn't do anything. And it just simply exists there for Meghan to hopefully look like she's accomplishing something and maybe raking in the cash as well. But as ever is barely off the ground. I think speaking about hotels and restaurants, two things that require enormous capital, is just a little too early at this point. I mean, we're talking maybe 5 years to a decade too early to be discussing those sorts of things. But this seems to be the business plan of Meghan Markle, which is constantly throw every idea out to a member of the press and see what sticks. But this, I think, deserves more examination because Meghan has infinite possibilities here to make, as ever, a gigantic success. But as ever, Meghan Markle is her own worst enemy. So we're going to look at this latest report, and I'm going to share with you something very exciting as well. But if you guys haven't been to Royal News Network before, hello, my name is Brittany. I provide compelling royal commentary. So if you guys want to hit that subscribe button, I would love to have you back. And I do want to highlight real quick, there was the royal run today in Denmark. We usually try to do a little bit, I like to call the crown report. So we saw several of the Danish royals out doing various jogs, usually 5 kilometers. It is part of what they call the royal run. It was something King Frederick started for his 60th birthday, and it encourages people to go out and run. And the Danes just absolutely love it. I think it's fantastic and amazing. So, very exciting to see. We also have Emmanuel Macron and his wife Brigitte visiting Monaco on a state visit. And we had several royals who also attended the Blue Economy and Finance Forum there in Monaco as part of a UN meeting regarding ocean and the future of the planet. We had obviously Prince Albert of Monaco, Emmanuel Macron, and we had Prince William give a speech in addition to Crown Princess Victoria attending. And we do also have Crown Prince Khan there as well. It's always so fun to see many, many royals together. So I will keep the Crown report section here rather brief because we have other things to get to, and I have some big plans for this week. So let's go ahead and move on, because when I heard this report, I was like, really? But I was like, this makes sense. This also makes sense. When it comes to business, Meghan literally has no idea what she's doing. And she is constantly, I think, ignoring probably some pretty sound advice from people who are hired to actually make her successful. And she can't get out of their way enough to let them do their jobs, essentially. So, what we have here is, I think, a literal situation of let's throw every idea out there ever and just see which one works. And we've heard a bit about this before, some of the things that are being reported here. So it sounds like rosé wine is definitely coming, but it reveals also a huge problem about the future of Meghan's business. I did a video recently talking about why, as ever, will almost 100% fail. And this is another example of that. So let's go ahead and check out this report from The Sun. So it says Meg and breakfast. Meghan Markle plans to add hotels and restaurants to business empire as she trademarks as ever brand for hospitality. So Meghan has talked about this already, how she's interested sort of in this hospitality angle, which is like, why are you just announcing this now? Why wasn't this a plan the whole time? I mean, you've had allegedly months, if not years, to work on this. And we're all of a sudden just going, yeah, I guess tea is not going to really do it, is it? So this is like, okay, and like boggles the mind how poorly this whole operation is run. And so apparently, the brain trust that is Meghan Markle has decided that she wants to add hotels and restaurants to her brand wish list as she goes on social media charm offensive to win new fans. And this is sort of not great. So Meghan posted this picture this weekend, which was from her like Instagram profile picture where she has her mouth open. Clearly also not wearing a bra here, very classy there. And she basically says like running into the weekend. I still don't understand. As ever, the Instagram account, I mean, it's technically been there over a year because it initially started out as American Riviera Orchard. Now, though, it is as ever. I still don't know what as ever is. Meghan Markle, you need to explain what as ever is. I have no idea. You frolicking in the sand and the coast means literally nothing. And giving banal platitudes, again, means literally nothing. At this point, for your brand to be successful, you need to explain what your brand is. But I don't think she knows what it is. And we've gotten great indications now, I think, that really this is all Netflix idea because they needed her to do something and she just wanted to make money. And so they came up with this brilliant idea. But the thing is, if Megan's really not passionate about it, it's going to fail because they desperately need her to actually be invested in the company. And the thing is, Megan is not invested in this. She sees it, I think, as a quick cash grab. She's not doing the hard work to make it work. Gwyneth Paltrow, lover or hater, has done a great job growing Goop. And yes, they've had their ups and downs, I think, but that's the same thing with every company, but it's an established brand. It's doing really well. Meghan has had one single product launch with a very, very small supply, didn't resupply until 2+ months later, and we still don't know anything about the brand. Her products also were very banal, and especially for food items, it leaves, I think, a lot to be desired. So she says it will include places to stay, provision of food and drink, and temporary lodgings. So the 43-year-old could some of her own food creations, including recipes flaunted on her Netflix series with Love Meghan. Okay, the problem is I don't think Meghan created any of the recipes on her show with Love Meghan. She has no original ideas. I don't really think she's all that much of a chef and cook. And I have tasted her products. I have basically all of them. None of them are that good. None of them I would ever order again. Actually, the only thing I just happened to have the hibiscus tea. This was the only thing I actually decently liked, but I can probably get essentially the same tea anywhere. It's just hibiscus tea. It's just a fruity tea. That's all it is. There's nothing in her brand so far that makes it reorderable. I mean, she said that she hopes her jam is something like people keep on the shelves all the time. And I was like, no, Meghan, I don't think that's going to happen because it's not that good, honey. It's just, I'm so sorry to burst your bubble. I know this kind of destroys her vision of the world or whatever. But the problem is that Meghan Markle just, I don't think has that much to offer here. And in addition to the idea of hospitality, her hospitality skills are a little creepy. So I can't remember quite where I heard this because it might have been on Drew Barrymore or it might have been on her TV show. I can't remember which one it is. But Meghan talked about, and I thought it was so incredibly creepy as a host to do this because I think she's actually sort of a terrible hostess. I think she's wildly overbearing. I think she's a little ridiculous and over the top. Like you wouldn't feel at home with her. You'd feel like you're on like assignment with her and desperately trying to keep her happy so she doesn't get mad. And one of the things she said is that she would sneak into her guest's room and put a hot water bottle under their sheets or whatever to warm up the bed for them. Well, number one, water can spill. So that's probably not like the greatest idea in the world. Number two, you can have an electric blanket do that. Number three, do your guests even want that in their bed? You don't know. You're just assuming because that's what you want. That's what your guest wants too. However, the other thing is that Meghan is snooping into somebody's room that she's letting stay there. I sort of have a thing, and I think this is the case for most people, is that when you go to somebody else's house and you stay there, whatever room you're staying in is kind of sort of your room. You're not like, you don't expect the host to go in there willy-nilly without they ask you, hey, can I go in there? I just need to grab something. It's like, yeah, sure. It's not like you're preventing them from going in, but I think there's something to the hospitality of not barging in and going, oh, I'm going to fix this for you when they maybe don't want that fixed or don't want what Meghan Markle's offering. In that way, I think she's a terrible hostess because I don't think she really respects her guests. It's all what she wants. And so it says brand experts said hotel and restaurants fit with her lifestyle image. In the first episode of her series, Meghan says, when I have someone stay, one of my favorite things to do is prep the guest room. Again, I feel like she's overbearing and she claims it as ever is more than a brand. It's a love language. It's actually not. I don't feel any love from her products, to be quite honest. And it gives kind of the description and everything. But here's sort of the rub is that Meghan needs to actually have her brands be successful before branching out into another avenue. The thing is, she doesn't have a proven business model yet. She has no clue if her business is sustainable, if it has been all that successful. and if it will be able to grow naturally. Because the kiss of death to a business is overexpansion. Because if you overexpand and you can't fulfill all the obligations, generally those companies collapse. Now, you'll have to excuse me because I'm not entirely sure if this is right or not, and I'm sort of on a time crunch, so we are going to go with it. But my understanding is that Joanne Fabrics, which just recently completely closed and had filed for bankruptcy, every store is gone. They ended up overexpanding in reaction to COVID. So they overextended themselves. And yes, people were really interested in crafting projects during the lockdowns because nobody could go anywhere. But once that was all done and everybody had to go back to work and into the office, crafting plummeted and they had overexpanded themselves to such an extent that they couldn't be sustainable. I see the same problem happening here. Meghan needs to focus on a core set of products, really refine those. I think all of her products she offered for the first go around need revisions. I don't think any of them were particularly good. They weren't particularly noteworthy. She needs to figure out better products. And then once she has an established product line and that is healthy, then you slowly expand. Because she has no clue if her products are healthy, if her company is healthy. She has no idea. She did a twerking video, gained like 700,000 Instagram followers, and thinks she's doing okay. Honey, unless all those Instagram followers are constantly buying your stuff, and I highly doubt it, it doesn't really matter how many Instagram people followed you. And I actually have a nice example for myself that I will share because I will be taking a lot of this stuff with me to London this next week, which I have a Recollections May Vary shirt. This is Her Majesty the Queen on the bottom. Obviously, it has the RNN specific crown there. And so I made these shirts. Oh, it says Royal. Oh, no. And it says Royal News Network right there. Isn't that cool? So I made a batch of products. And I always started off, I was actually going to do the initial quotas. Thank goodness Meghan is not here, or thank goodness Meghan is not coming. It was something for the Queen, and I can't remember which thing it was. But what was awesome is that people who were following at the time said, oh, you need to do Recollections May Vary. And I was like, yes. And so I have a hat, I have sweatshirts, I have a bag, I have a notebook, and obviously shirts as well. All that say Recollections May Vary. And it's a core product line. So I've started off with one color, which is navy. That's what I originally started off with. When I ordered the shirts myself and kept them in stock and shipped them, I really don't do that anymore because it's too cumbersome and these are print on demand, which is great. But I'm going to start off with a core collection. And then maybe we'll do fun colors from time to time. And maybe we'll do this and that and all of those sorts of things. And so, but overall, this will remain sort of the core batch because I think navy is such a classic color. It looks good on so many people. Obviously, we can do royal and red and pink, and there's so many different colors, and there'll be more lines to come. And I like quotes on t-shirts. I think they're kind of classy. So we'll go sort of with the classy angle here. So we'll keep building and building and building. But the thing is, I started small. I didn't do everything at once. I did one thing at once. And as that gets better and better, you can build and build and build and build. You want to get reaction, you want to get feedback and all those sorts of things. So if you're interested in checking out any of the products, the link is down below. But Meghan has made a small batch of products that were all varied. So we had teas, we had flour products like a crepe mix and a shortbread cookie mix, flour sprinkles, honey that basically nobody got, and raspberry spread, which Meghan Markle herself keeps calling jam. Cannot even tell you how much it annoys me that a woman who started the company doesn't even know what her company sells. I find that really obnoxious. It's like, how do you not know that jam and spread are different, honey? It's your company. How do you not know this? I digress. But Meghan should have focused on, I want to say, like the core products kind of work together, but they also don't. And there's no real story that captivates and pulls them together. It was just Meghan like, oh yeah, I had crepes during my study abroad in France. Do we have any pictures or proof of this? No. So honestly, to be quite frank, although cameras weren't as ubiquitous then as they are now, because we all have them on our phones, I honestly don't believe, number one, that she makes crepes. She's never even showed us she makes crepes. Number two, that she had any crepes in France. I mean, she could have, but the whole story she even put on there, I actually don't believe. And I find this to be a key failure of her brand. She can't have hotels if we don't know the brand story. We can't have restaurants if we don't know the brand story. We can't have restaurants as well if Meghan Markle can't make good food products, if her products are just mediocre. Everything I think is running into itself and showing it's a massive, massive, not only inconsistencies, but a failure of a vision for a brand. Meghan Markle has no vision. And vision is something you have to have for a brand and company, especially one like a lifestyle brand. What lifestyle is Meghan shilling? Is it her twerking? Is it her concert era? Is it her happy homemaker type thing that she did on With Love? Like, which Meghan is a real Meghan? And that's part of the problem is Gwyneth Paltrow, you can think is ridiculous, but at least she sells her lifestyle because she lives it. Meghan Markle, I have no clue what her lifestyle actually is. I don't think she cooks that much. I don't think she bakes that much. I think she claims to, and I think she claims and, yeah, somewhat sends personalized notes and messages and everything. Like that kind of personal touch she likes to do, I think is somewhat true. But we also know it's not a love language because Meghan doesn't show a lot of love to members of her extended family, her husband's family, all these sorts of things. And so, because of that, I don't really see any aspect of Meghan's brand selling. And I think it's far, 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 far too early to ever be floating around the idea of hotels and restaurants. She needs a provable brand. And I don't know if we have it yet. She has some products. We don't even know if the second batch of products are good. She hasn't, again, like one of the things I found interesting, because I just pulled this out, because I was going to do a whole rosé wine feature a long time ago. Of course, that was like a year ago when everything about As Ever was first being floated. So I have all these rosé wines sitting in my pantry. But this one is from Cameron Diaz. And as far as I'm aware, they've just really worked on crafting this wine and others like it that's sort of free from added sugar, artificial colors, concentrate, vegan friendly. And so they've really sort of tried to create products that fulfill their brand obligations. This is Eveline, and really trying to make something consistent. Meghan hasn't done that yet. She's supposedly going to be selling rosé wine, but do we even know if she drinks rosé wine? Did she on her show? I don't know. And that's the thing. When you have really no vision, if you're always trying to please everyone, you really do end up pleasing no one. And I feel like that is Meghan Markle. She's not going to please anyone. I think she's just going to drive people crazy. Maybe that's just me because I'm a branding person and I'm like, what is your brand, Meghan? What's the vision? What's the purpose? What's the point? What are you offering? Because I just don't think even she knows. I think she just saw an easy money grab and Netflix was desperate to try to wring anything out of Meghan Markle because they couldn't get anything out of her. And this was their best shot. And as far as I can tell, it's not going too well. And maybe a hotel is part of a broader Netflix experience that might work, but I still think Netflix bet on the wrong lifestyle horse. I don't think Meghan has it. I don't think she can sell it. And yes, she had a brief success, but I would believe that she probably actually only made maybe a couple of thousand to maybe $10,000 to $20,000 on her products. I don't even think she made that much. She made such an incredibly small batch, and she might have been keeping products on the shelves for years and then sort of doing all these small launches, but you have to do a small launch and then restock in 2 weeks. Some people have totally forgotten she existed. Some people watch the reviews and others and it's like, nah, maybe I won't invest in this Meghan Markle thing. She really hasn't proven who she is. And until Meghan decides who she is, I think she'll have some brief blips of maybe some mediocre success, but she could be so much better off if she actually had a plan, wasn't chaotic behind the scenes, and truly believed in the nonsense Netflix is trying to get her to push. So guys, let me know what you think of this video. Thank you so much for watching. Check out the RNN merch, and I shall talk to you again very soon. Bye.